This is half a jar of bacon fat. It's going to get exciting here on the Bliss Bite Edible blog. See what we make with this. And the bottom of this pan will likely become the beginning of our sauce. Look at all those burnt bits. And we have some pink kush that just came out of the oven. So we have bacon fat, weed, slightly simmering water, and it's going to hang out for about an hour, hour and a half now. And the cannabis is just draining through a filter into a bowl for future use. Bacon fat now, all nice and strained, with all the cannabis pieces. Alright, so I am going to start with a new pan because it's been a few days, and I'm going to make a carbonara with jalapenos, got some Parmesan cheese, the bacon fat, which has been hanging out for a little bit, garlic, mushrooms, bacon, some nice pasta, little green onions. Nothing about this is traditional, and well, it'll be delicious. So I pre-cooked the bacon, rendered bacon fat as you saw. Now we've got mushrooms I'm going to fry up, ideally in the same pan as that bacon, but it's been a few days for me, so I'm using a new pan. And then we're going to make a roux, and this should all be pretty delicious here in a few minutes. So a second ago I forgot I had jalapenos to cook. They're delicious. I like spice. If you don't like heat, avoid the jalapenos. Cayenne's also a great option here, doesn't add the chunks. And there's always a lot of black pepper in this, which you'll see I'll add right at the end. So in this pan now I've got pre-cooked bacon, mushrooms, jalapenos. Jalapenos and mushrooms are almost cooked. Bacon's just warming up, and I'm going to set them to the side. And from there I'm going to go and make a roux, and we'll have a cheese sauce in a minute. That looks fantastic though. That jalapeno's going to have a nice heat in there. So we've got the infused bacon fat. I'm going to melt this down, and I'm going to add an equal part flour, fry a little garlic in the mix as well for more flavor. Again, nothing about this recipe is classic, but it is going to be full of flavor and mighty delicious. Just letting this sort of melt back down. I'm going to throw the flour right in. Now I've got an equal part flour to fat, and you just want to brown the flour ever so slightly. Give it just a bit of color, and from there we'll pour in some warm milk. Always use warm or room temperature milk, not cold, or you'll get lumps. A few lumps here are not too bad. The milk will help take care of that. And you see it darkening already. This is very, very quick as this happens. I just need to keep mixing it up a little bit. No big pieces of flour, but you do not want it to be raw. Some of the pieces I'm realizing are my garlic too, which makes me happy. Now just ever so slowly pour in my milk. Mix it in as you go. And just a little bit more milk. Hey Gavin, can I borrow you?
Sure.
We're just going to stir this, and Gavin's going to hold the camera because he's fantastic. There we go, and you just want to mix it up as best you can. And you should be able to get rid of the lumps relatively easily. They shouldn't be too chunky. And it really shouldn't be chunky at all, but some of the chunks you're seeing are garlic too, keep in mind. You'll notice the marijuana as well is giving it kind of a neat color too on the top. I'll let that come to just almost a boil, which will take a second or two. And maybe longer, but once it just bubbles a little bit, we'll add some cheese, and we'll be set there. Cook the noodles and mix it all together. That's coming to a boil, and we'll dump in our cheese shredded. I'm using Parmesan because I like Parmesan. Pecorino is more traditional, but this is my recipe. It's more for flavor, and the flavor I like, so I'm used to Parmesan. Mix, 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 and it'll start turning into a sauce here momentarily. If it's too thick as we go, right at the end you can always add some pasta water, it'll thin it out a little bit too. Which I think I'm going to do because this is a very thick cheese sauce that I made. Dumping on in the bacon, the mushrooms, the jalapeno, into what is now basically, what really is a cheese sauce. Now once the pasta's cooked, that's going to dump into the whole mix. Sauce is about ready. From here we dump in the pasta and it'll be easy peasy. So what we have here is the finished pasta in a pan, and it is going to be phenomenal. I'm excited. And here we go, finished product, little black pepper on top, done. So this video, as always, is brought to you by Bliss Bites. These are my leftovers for the week.